welcome back to another session of accounting. Now, in this topic, we are going to know how are we going to apply the rules of debit and credit for our revenue, expenses, and our withdrawals accounts. So, why is it important to know the rules of debit and credit for revenue, expense, and withdrawal accounts? Of course, those are the terms that we are going to use in accounting. So, let's go for our revenue. So, what is revenue? It says that revenue is an income earned from the sale of goods or services. It is what we call revenue. For examples of revenue is fees earned, or maybe the services performed and you receive cash from the sale of merchandise. It's like you sold goods and you receive money. And of course, revenue increases our owner's equity, or what we call capitals, because it increases the assets of the business. So what type of assets that increases in the business? It's either maybe cash or maybe our bank. So that is what we call revenue. So what is actually expense now? Expense is we use to generate the revenue. So most business must also incur expenses to buy goods, materials, and services. So an expense is the cost of products or services used to operate a business. So let's have an example of expenses. We have a lot. Rent expense, utilities, advertising, electricity expense, and so on. So those expenses decreases the owner's equity because they have decreased also the assets of the business, or they might increase our liabilities. Now, the summary of this topic. So the effect of revenue and expenses are summarized like this. Revenue increases the assets and increases our owner's equity or our capital, while expenses decreases our assets and decrease our owner's equity or capital, or it increase also our liabilities and decrease our owner's equity. So that's all for revenue and expense. Let's talk about withdrawal. So what is withdrawal or drawings in the business? So if a business earns revenue, sometimes the owner will take cash or other assets from the business but for his personal use or her personal use. So this transaction is what we call withdrawal or drawings. So again, withdrawal and investments have opposite effect. Okay? Withdrawal and investment have opposite effect. So a withdrawal decreases both assets and your owner's equity or your capital. And a withdrawal is not the same as expense. Remember that withdrawal is not the same as an expense. So that is what we call withdrawals or drawings in the business.